was Monday. She was vacuuming up the dog hair in the living room. They were hearing the knocking on the door until she stopped. The birds left their branches, knowing their songs wouldn't soothe. The air was heavy, with the eyes and the pictures and all the walls suddenly closed. 2 Army officers stood in the doorway there. It's like a 13-inch snowstorm that the weatherman never saw coming. Full-dress blues with commendations over the left chest, holding an American flag, folding in a triangle. Her knees were loud grenades in a foxhole. As these officers' mouths moved, all she heard was the soft sound of her son's voice. During the last call that he made 2 weeks ago. I'll be home before you know it, Mom. Her eyes were broken dams letting the lake juice cracks. She didn't remember inviting these officers inside, just the birthday parties they had in the backyard. His Lionel Halloween costume. This nice girl Amanda he dated. The look in his face when he received that hard-earned high school education would tremble inside of his chin. That day he boarded the bus, her hands shook weakly as she held the flag as strongly as it did with each letter he wrote home, telling her in between the lines about the horrible things he never realized he'd have to do, wanting to come home, how there were no birds there, ending each letter, just in case I don't make it. Know that I love you, Mom and Dad. These officers gave a final condolence along with a folder of paperwork and a box of his personal items. He laid the flag on the table, opened the box. Dog tags, ID cards, a picture taken right before he left. Mom on one side, Dad on the other, fresh young soldier in the middle, gonna make a difference, gonna save the world. Wrinkled picture. There was a streak of blood in the top right corner that looked like an olive branch. Pair of black rosaries that had the bottom of the cross pressed in, telling her he prayed as often and as hard as she did when Jesus prayed in the garden. Right before the crucifixion, sweating so hard he sweat blood, hoping his father would tell him not to go through with it. She wanted there at the desert heat, turned her son's crimson forehead into a crown of thorns. When the bullets had found him, felt like the laughing spears piercing the ribs of the Messiah. His voice quivering through my country. Why have you forsaken me? His chest shattering on contact there by bullets painted red, white, and blue by a man whose face he didn't see long enough to hate, forming holes in his back in the shape of doves, his thumb. Pressing so hard on that crucifix, Jesus' footprint was found in his bone during the autopsy of his mother. Walked into the kitchen. Stayed out there in the backyard where she remembered her son at 8 years old, full of mud and excitement, announcing he was making a swimming pool for the family. Picked up the flag in her arms like a baby, rocked it back and forth until she remembered how to breathe. Picked up the phone to call family members and let them know just how successful this war has been.